I believe online arbitrage on Amazon is one of the best starting points for beginners. It is easy to start for almost anyone. It's affordable to start with almost any budget, and it's proven to work for so many people for the last decade, 2 decades plus, whatever it's been now. So in this video, I want to walk you through a beginner-friendly tutorial on how to buy products online at low prices and then resell them back on Amazon for an easy profit. And don't worry, we're not winging it here. I'm going to show you step by step how to use a software that's going to streamline everything and automate much of this process for you. You won't need dozens of tools to manage everything because it's all handled in one easy-to-use dashboard that is a single platform, and that, in my opinion, is truly a game changer. Now, back when I started, there wasn't much software available to help compare products, and even when you did have a software, you had to stack, realistically, I think it was like 6 to 10 softwares all together to make it work, but obviously those days are numbered, and now it's a lot easier. But back in the day, I used to have to spend hours sourcing deal websites, which was time consuming and tedious. Headache just thinking about remembering how I used to do it. But today, like I said, you don't need to go through all that hassle. Modern tools make it simpler and save you a ton of time. So I'll guide you through how I would personally approach online arbitrage if I was starting today, using software to uncover profitable products super fast. And that way I can buy them quickly and then recoup the ROI much faster with so much less effort. So if I were starting today, first I would head over to repricehub.com. They have a complete 14-day free trial, so you can test it out completely free for 2 weeks and see for yourself if you see the value in it or not. Plus, in those 2 weeks alone, you can buy a ton of deals, which you can then flip for a profit, all without ever paying a dime for the software. But I'm willing to bet, obviously, once you do test it out and get some results, you'll want to stick with it because you'll want to do that over and over again to make more money reselling. And I will add a discount code in the description for you as well. So if you do decide to stick with it after those 2 weeks, then you'll save a little bit of money too. Now, this software is essential for online arbitrage, and it even helps Amazon dropshippers too. I did a tutorial, I think like a year ago-ish, on how you can use it to dropship. So I will link that at the bottom of the description if you want to check that out as well. But this is a beginner-friendly tool that anyone can start and use today, and it has an easy-to-navigate site interface that's not confusing at all. Plus, it'll practically spoon-feed you the profitable products once you run the search, like I will show you here in a second. Now, you'll need a tool on top of that to verify sales data for the products that you're researching. So for this, I use SellerSprite. It's a Chrome extension that provides you real-time sales data on all your Amazon listings. And it has a ton of other functions as well, but this is the main thing we're going to use it for today. It is a huge time saver, and it removes the guesswork from product research, making it super easy and making sure that you know the sales of those products before you obviously source them. Now, SellerSprite does also come with a free trial as well. That's the complete theme of today, right? This is starting. It's the easiest way to start. We don't want to go out and spend a ton of money on a ton of software right in the beginning just to find out if it works for us. No, we want free trials so we can utilize them, see the power in them, get some quick results, and get some momentum. And then we're obviously inspired to do it more and more because we realize we can do this. Not just somebody online is telling me that we can do it. I am literally doing this, right? So it proves the concept for you, and that's why I love the free trials, okay? So with SellerSprite, you can test it out completely free and see if you like it, but as you'll see in this tutorial when I run you through it, it's extremely valuable as well on top of Repricehub. They go synonymous together. They're perfect. So you also will need a revenue calculator as well to figure out your profit margins from the supplier, but don't worry, you don't need to pay for one. Amazon Seller Central offers a free, and it's an accurate calculator that's perfect for beginners as well. You can use it completely free in the back end of Seller Central, or you could also use the calculator that's provided with you on SellerSprite. It comes on every single product listing once you download the actual extension, and I will show you that in this tutorial as well. But obviously, if you don't decide to go with SellerSprite, then you won't have that, right? Now, for repricing tools, you can skip the expensive software. So many people out there recommend all these expensive repricers, and I've said it in almost every single tutorial. You do not need that in the beginning. You should not go out and spend $100, $200 on a fancy repricer, especially when you don't have any sales, especially when you're just starting, you're trying to build your business. You don't need to drop all that money on excess software that's not needed in the beginning, especially. You should be utilizing that cash to then reinvest back into products so you can make more money. That's a no-brainer. Now, in the future, once you're scaled, if you want to get a fancy, nice repricer that does and has all the bells and whistles, I support that. I wouldn't blame you, obviously. It's smart at that point. But in the beginning, it is stupid. Do not do that. The free repricer in Amazon Seller Central is more than enough for beginners. And on top of that, Repricehub, once you actually sign up, has a built-in repricer that saves you even more time by automatically adjusting the prices for the products that you've listed based on your settings, okay? It's also very easy to use, and I covered it a bit more in depth for a few different minutes in the Amazon dropshipping tutorial that I talked about already that is already linked at the bottom of the description using Repricehub. Now, another helpful insight that we'll need to know for this is how many actual sellers are on a listing and their specific inventory levels, right? This helps you gauge demand versus competition on a product, but lucky for us, SellerSprite also does that too. And while it's not mandatory, I do also recommend shipping your products into Amazon FBA. It's going to improve your chance of getting the buy box on all your listings. It's also going to increase your sales, and it's also going to offer a more hands-off approach so we don't have to ship everything individually ourselves, which we didn't sign up for a job, right? We want this to be a side hustle that's going to make us some money, a little bit of sourcing here on the computer using Repricehub and SellerSprite, and then obviously just ship our products into FBA, let FBA and Amazon handle all the shipping, logistics, and all the work. We just collect the money and then we reinvest it back into more products, right? That's the way that I at least want to do it, and I would highly recommend that you do it as well. Now, also, if you're looking for some extra cash back, you might want to consider using a cashback credit card and even a cashback portal like Rakuten. I use both of them depending on the website I'm sourcing from. Those small percentage savings really add up over time, especially when you're buying products like this for online arbitrage, or you're drop shipping, or you're buying products in bulk. I have literally made thousands of dollars in free cash back on Rakuten since I started using it 4 or 5 years ago or something like that. It's probably over $10,000 now. I haven't looked at it recently. And that is free money that I wouldn't have otherwise gotten for products that I was already going to purchase anyway. It's a no-brainer. I will link that at the bottom of the description as well if you want to sign up with a bonus, if you want to try it out. I think it's like a $30 bonus. It won't be at the bottom of the description. I misspoke. It will be like second, third, or fourth link in the description for you if you want that too. Now, in this video, we're about to get in the tutorial. I'm going to walk you through the sourcing the products with Repricehub, demonstrate how to find profitable products step by step for you, and I will explain each tool and why it is essential for the success of finding products and obviously making money with it and how to use it effectively. In my opinion, Repricehub is one of the best tools for beginners as it combines product research, listing, repricing, and back-end order management all in one easy-to-use app. It can even monitor your inventory and your prices 24/7, 365 days a year, ensuring that you never sell an out-of-stock item or lose money, because you're not paying attention. Now, like I said, this is a proven business model that's been around for over a decade, maybe even 2 now, and it's an excellent way to build an initial nest egg while staying within Amazon's terms of service. So if you're aiming to make a few extra $100 a month, a few extra $1,000 a month, this is a fantastic way to start, and you can even scale it relatively quickly. So let's dive into the tutorial, and we'll begin this process with a new product search. So once you actually hop onto Repricehub and you sign up, again, 14-day free trial linked in the description, you will see that you can just start a new search over here with product research. Start a new search, and you can pick one of these websites that they offer. So Best Buy, Webstron Store, those are both good ones. Walmart always has a ton. Target, Home Depot, Sam's Club, Walgreens, VitaCost, and iHerb. So let's just pick one randomly. Let's go Best Buy. Now in here, you'll see you want to input your supplier sales tax percentage and the cashback discount percentage. Now, I don't ever put cashback discount percentage in here because I just think of that as a bonus on top. Now, if you want to get super competitive or you're buying in bulk, then you could obviously, so you know that you can account for that cashback percentage on top with your profit margin. Again, I don't ever do that. I just think of cashback as a bonus. I want to source profitable products anyway, and then whatever cashback I get is a bonus, right? So again, if you had, an example like Walmart used to have the Walmart credit card that would give you 5% cash back that I used to use it. They discontinued that like 6 months ago, but if I was sourcing Walmart knowing, for example, I was going to use the Walmart credit card, I could put cashback discount percentage of 5%, knowing that every single purchase, I'm going to get 5% cash back on my card, which I can then obviously use to pay my card off. So I am instantly getting that 5% discount, right? So that's just an example. Again, I don't ever put anything in here. I like to think of it as a bonus, but you can if you want to. Now, supplier sales tax percentage, if you are tax exempt, meaning you have a reseller's permit and an EIN, you don't even need an EIN actually. I believe if you just get a reseller's permit, and I've done an entire video on how to get a reseller's permit as well. I will link that at the end of the description if you need it as well. So you'd put 0 in here if you're tax exempt on one of these suppliers. And there's a way to obviously, once you get your reseller's permit, to apply and let them know that you are not the end consumer of the transaction. So the end consumer on Amazon should pay the sales tax and not you. So you get tax exempt on all your transactions on that website. In short, it's just for resellers, obviously, that plan to resell these items. So if that's you and you are tax exempt, then obviously you'd put 0% here. Now, for those of you that don't have a reseller's permit or haven't gone through the process to get tax exempt on your website for your supplier yet, then you would put your sales tax percentage in there for your state, right? So just Google whatever your state's sales tax percentage is. In PA, I believe it's 6%. And then you would click search on that listing. I accidentally clicked Walmart. Let's go to Best Buy. We could have done Walmart too. It doesn't really matter. I just use Walmart as an example all the time in some of my other tutorials. So let's use Best Buy as an example here. Now, on the left, you'll see it has a ton of filters that we can use to kind of hone down our products and make sure that we're getting not just profitable products, not just comparing, as you can see, instantly it's going to compare all the products that it finds on Best Buy to the same exact product that it finds on Amazon, right? So it's using the comparison for us, which it's going through and finding all those similar products from website to website, which is invaluable. But also we can then use the filters to hone down different profits that we want. So it doesn't just show us all the 1,000 products that are on Best Buy or Amazon or however many it is, 5,000, whatever. It's going to show us the 300 or the 100 that are the top most profitable, and that's why you want to use the filters on the side. So I always set this pretty specific, and then I'll broaden it out in the future as we get, more and more buys, because I don't want to buy the 50th most profitable product. I want to buy the first, the second, the third, right? So always start specific and then broaden out later. Let's go profit $8. ROI will say 29%. And that way it's going to show us anything above 29% ROI, also above $8 profit. Now, right here with your supplier settings, obviously you can set a minimum price or a maximum price. I'm not going to do that. With the Amazon settings, you can set a minimum maximum price as well. I'm not going to do that. The reason that that's advantageous for you when you're sourcing is if you're not trying to spend a bunch of money on units, you're trying to spend, a certain percentage. So you only have let's say $500 to spend on this, and you don't want to allocate that $500 budget to 3 products, you could obviously keep it a little bit lower. And so that's why that's advantageous for you. Now, if it's sold by Amazon, you could hide it. That's another valuable button. I don't ever do that either. I'm just going to search it. And again, if it shows us a bunch of items that we can't sell, and again, if it shows us a bunch of items that aren't super profitable, then we could just obviously make it a little bit more specific. So as a perfect example here, you have the Google Nest, which is Wi-Fi Pro 6E. So as you can see, it's selling on Best Buy for $79.99. On Amazon, it's listed for $145, actually $149. So that's a pretty hefty profit margin. So also, as you can see, Rakuten here is going to offer, if we click the activate 4%, every single time we obviously make a purchase from Rakuten here after we click this, it's going to give us 4% cash back on whatever we spent. So 4% cash back on $80 would be, let's see, $80 times 0.4. would be $3.20 completely free, added to my Rakuten account. And then obviously, I think they send it to you quarterly, so that just builds up quarterly. And then they send you, they call it a big fat check quarterly. Again, I just look at it as a bonus, free money. And every 3 months, I get a quarterly check from Rakuten for a few $100 to a few $1,000, depending on how much you spent that quarter, okay? So it's a no-brainer. You might as well do it because obviously that's going to instantly increase your profit margin, or you could just look at it as free money, free cash back bonus at the end of the quarter, right? So this right here is $149.99, or sorry, $149. This is $80, but it is sold out on Best Buy, so we're going to move forward. Now this one right here is a Sigma contemporary lens, 45 inches, 45 millimeters. This is not the same millimeter, so we're going to move on to the next product. This one right here is 3060, 12 gigabytes, 3060. Let's make sure that those are the same and we'll check them out. This one's sold out. So this one right here sells on Best Buy for $65. This one sells on Amazon for $130. Is it the same? Ring Power Pack, stackable battery. Ring Power Pack, white, stackable battery. So that is the same. Now, the next thing we want to check is, can we buy it, right? Because if we can't actually sell it on Amazon, it doesn't really matter. So you want to go into your Seller Central, add a product, and see if you can buy it. So we'll paste the ASIN into our Seller Central, add product, and see if we can sell this. And this is brand restricted, so we are not able to sell this. So let's move on to the next product. This is $130. In new condition, it's $219. So plenty of profit margin here. Can we sell it? And you need approval to list this. All right, so we just found another one that we can sell right here. This iLive ITB66B, and this is the same product, 32 inches soundbar, $41.99. But on Best Buy, or sorry, it's $41.99 on Best Buy. On Amazon, it is $68.99, so plenty of profit margin. Now, if we take the ASIN in here and paste it in to Seller Central, you can see that in new condition, we are able to sell this. So now we just need to verify that it's actually profitable after the fees, right? So the way that we can do that is by utilizing the Amazon calculator in Seller Central, the free one in the back end of Seller Central, or if you downloaded SellerSprite like I recommended, you could just use the free SellerSprite listing calculator right here. So the new price is, I believe it was $68.99. $68.99 is the listing price. And on our supplier, it's $42, roughly speaking. So the cost of goods is $42. The shipping cost of Amazon is obviously going to depend. I'm going to say $2. It's a little bit big. So if you bought, 5, 10 of these at once and you ship them all in, it would obviously be cheaper. If you buy one of them and you ship it in, it's going to be more expensive. So if you only bought one of these and shipped it into Amazon FBA, obviously it's probably going to cost you $5 to ship it in, maybe even $6, $7, right? But if you buy a few of them, then obviously that negates your cost because you're shipping them all in the same box. So if I buy, let's say 5 or 6 of these, I'm going to estimate my cost is going to be like $3 to ship it in. And so if we do that, we can see that after fees, we'd make $10.58, and that's a 15.34% profit margin. So this is a good product. We're going to move that one over. Now let's keep going through them, see if we can find one more example for you. And obviously I'm going very slow. I'm showing you how I would go about doing this and kind of hitting each check in the checklist for you. But that's how simple it is, because Reprice is going to compare the products on Best Buy in this example, or whatever website you obviously choose, to Amazon's product catalog. And you can obviously make this a lot more specific, so you're only getting shown higher, profit margin products. And then just go through the checklist and check them, buy a few that you like, ship them into Amazon FBA, wait till they sell, use the repricer, and make your profit, right? So one more thing that I forgot to add on this as well is if I was going to go through and actually buy this product, right? Because it's a good product. We've already found that out. One more thing that I want to do to figure out how many I want to buy is look at all the other sellers on this actual listing, right? So for example, if I click right here on top of a listing and I have SellerSprite installed, you can see the stock status of this. If I click view details, it's going to show me how many other sellers are on this listing, whether they have it in FBA or FBM. They're selling it obviously themselves, or if they've shipped it into FBA. And that matters because if you have your product in FBA and a seller has their product in FBM, generally speaking, the FBA seller is going to win the buy box at the same price point and can often even charge more for their product. So that's relevant to gauge the sales estimates that you feel like you can make based on the competition on the listing. It's also going to tell you their prices, and it's also going to tell you the inventory that they have, meaning the quantity in inventory that they have. So it looks like, for example, on this product, by just clicking in SellerSprite, we can see there are 5 other sellers on this listing with new products. 2 of them have FBA, 3 of them are FBM. There's store feedback right here and how many ratings they have. That also matters. I did an entire video in the past on everything that goes into getting the buy box. A lot of it is obviously price. Second is availability to the customer. Third is, your store feedback and the history of sales on Amazon. And there's a number of other things. I will link that video at the end of the description for you as well. But that's going to help you gauge how many to buy and how fast you can expect to sell them out, right? And also you can see that this person only has 1 in inventory, this person has 10, this person has 1, this person has 16, and this person has 2, right? So all that data is there for us, and we can make better informed decisions, not just if it's profitable, not just if it's selling, but also how many other sellers are on the listing. And so one last thing that you're going to want to check is obviously to make sure that it has actual sales, right? And the easiest way to do that is once you obviously have SellerSprite installed, you want to click into the historical data button. So historical trends right here, and it's going to show you all the monthly sales for that product, which obviously is extremely valuable, and the trend of it over time, again, extremely valuable. You don't want to see a sharp spike. You don't want to see a sharp decline. All that's going to be your red flag. So you just want to see consistent sales and how many sales you can estimate that this is going to have, right? So monthly, it's selling almost 2,000 units. Daily, this one as an example, is selling, looks like daily, this sold 58. Then 55, then 74, then 60. So again, it's going to show you the trend, not just a snapshot in time like bestseller rank will. This is going to show you the best seller rank and the daily sales over time. So it's more consistent and it's more reliable, right? On top of that, you can also see the best seller rank over time. Again, check it out, see what it is. This looks like it's been pretty low. The BSR of this product's been stupidly low, 25, 18. So this is a high selling product, obviously. And it's also going to show you the price fluctuations of that product, which is extremely valuable because you don't want to see something that, again, spikes really fast or drops really fast recently, because that's going to indicate that it could be a change in price on the buy box if you buy and sell. You want to see consistency, generally speaking, on all of these, and utilize this data to make an informed decision about whether or not the product is a good buy, and if it is, how many to buy based on the sales of it with historical trends, and based on the competition on the listing with the actual competition on the listing with SellerSprite, like I just showed you previously, right? So the last thing you want to check, obviously, is the rating, because one thing that's going to be the best indicator on top of the sales, on top of the best seller rank and price, is if you see ratings just consistently climbing, that is the best indicator that's a good, reliable product, because ratings are going to consistently climb if it's selling consistently. So that is the last check that you need to do. Check all those things. And if you check all those boxes and it still checks out, it's a good product to buy. Source based on how many you anticipate selling, based on the sales velocity on the listing and the competition on the listing, like I said, with the stock status button, right? So let's just try to find one more that we find is the same product, and I'll show you one more example. This one right here is $2 on oh, that's no longer available in new condition now. Looks like someone bought it. So this one right here is $867, a little bit higher price than I usually like. And it's $1578 on Amazon. Is it the same product? Elite screens, 16.9. Elite screens, 126 inch. I'm not sure if that is 126 inch, 16.9 or 16 by 9. So that is the same product. Black projector screen, motorized front projector screen with a remote kit. I believe that's the same product. I would avoid this one anyway, because I typically don't like to spend that much money on a product just in case it's returned, damaged, something like that, and then I can't return it to my supplier. Generally speaking, I think the most I've ever spent on a product is like $300-400. It was like a drum kit. And I bought a bunch of those, obviously, which was a good profit margin, but I did get one return for that, and I couldn't actually return it to my supplier like 45 days later. So I still made good money on it, even with a return, and I ended up selling that back on Mercari or Facebook Marketplace just as like a resold item anyway. But that's another reason why you might not want to do expensive products in the beginning, in case you get a return later, because Amazon will let you return it within 30 days. Often, sometimes they'll even extend it to 45 days for some people. And so if that happens, you won't necessarily be able to return it to your supplier. So keep that in mind. That's why I would avoid expensive products like this. But if you're a little bit more seasoned, if you have a little bit more of a budget, you can always go after them as well. This one right here, as an example, is $88 in new condition on Amazon. And it's $55 on Best Buy. So we would see it's in stock. Can we sell it? And it looks like we can sell this product in new condition. So that's perfect. So again, now that we know that we can sell this and there's plenty of margin to be made, the next thing that we'd want to go through is we'd want to check it in the calculator. We'd put our purchase cost here for our cost of goods into here. We put the listing price into here. So listing price would be 88. The purchasing cost on Best Buy after the free shipping obviously would be 55. And then obviously account for your sales tax as well. And then if we decide to sell it at that price on Amazon and match the buy box, we would make $7.67, which is an 8.72 profit margin. So not the best, but not terrible either. Definitely something that I'd go after and buy because it's easy profit. And that is how easy it is to use Repricehub to find and source profitable products, not just on Best Buy, on Walmart, on a number of other websites like I showed you. And the coolest part about this, like I show you a little bit more in depth in that other dropshipping tutorial that I linked at the end of the description, is once you add that product, obviously you can source it and then you can add it to your inventory in Repricehub and reprice it all there, assuming you've connected in your Amazon seller account. So I don't want this tutorial to be an hour long, so I'm going to stop it here. But just understand that Repricehub is a phenomenal software because it's going to spoon feed you these profitable products to buy for online arbitrage and obviously for dropshipping if you want to do that. Then you can list them using Repricehub. Once you connect your seller account, you can then list them using Repricehub as well. And then also with Repricehub, you can set your repricing strategy. So it's going to reprice and also check the inventory of your supplier. So you don't have to do any of that. It's completely hands off. So as always, guys, really hope this helps. And any questions, let me know in the comments below.